And yep, there's the button that says, all right, let's see. It says live. It says we're live now. Guys,
yeah, I can see it.
We had a technical difficulty, which is, I don't know, it's funny on one hand, but on the other hand, we already talked about so much stuff. Like Beth is in California and the weather is finally beautiful, right? We chatted about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous there. We chatted about her move from England to South Carolina and that, but you know what? We could talk about it all over again because it's really, really interesting. We talked about the Witty Writers Show, which is Beth's show. She hosts that show and it's wonderful. I don't know if you got a chance to catch it, and if you haven't, I really recommend that you do, because like I told her before, she's the hostess with the mostest. So you got to check it out. It's a lot of laughs, a lot of laughs. So we did start chatting about your book, your first book.
Yes, which is Earth Angels. There we go.
Oh, beautiful.
That was
love it, love it, love it. And that story came to you. We might as well let the audience know, just in case, you know, people don't know how that story came to be, because it's a great story.
It all came from a dream, and it was so weird and vivid, and the moment I started writing it, in fact, by the time I was halfway through writing it, I knew that it was going to be a big story, and that it wasn't just going to be one book, it was going to be two, probably three, because it just felt like there was so much more to it. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, sure. And
it was weird.
When you finished the book, when you actually came to the part where you said, wow, this is done, like, how did you feel? Like, what did that feel like?
I was terrified.
Really?
I was, because
why?
Because you pour your heart, you know what it's like, you pour your heart and soul into your work. And I'm like you, whatever I do, I have to try and do 100%. I'm not a half-assed person. If I do something, I try and do it to the best of my ability. I'd never written a book before. I'd written poetry, I'd written songs, never a book. And I knew that I had to put it out there, because it just felt like there was a reason that I was meant to write it. Yeah. So but to put it out there for everyone to judge.
Yes.
Because you are your own worst critic, I think. You're always the most harsh on yourself.
It's true.
You hope that people are going to connect with it. You hope people are going to be able to read it, and you hope that they're going to enjoy the experience. But putting it out there, I didn't do any massive promotion, because I was so nervous about what people would think. And I'm kicking myself now.
Not doing promotion?
But not really going for it. Yeah, because I was so super nervous. But the reviews and the responses that I was getting after I actually put it out there blew me away.
Wow,
I was
what a great feeling.
I really, really was. I mean, one of my friends, Jenny, she's never been a book reader, ever. You know, she's just not her thing. And some people it's just not their thing. Personally, I think it's because they haven't found their genre.
Yes, or the book, yes.
Yeah, that starts it all off. But because she's my friend, she decided she would force herself to read it. Bless her heart, I love her to bits. Well, she started reading it, and that was it. I was getting messages. Oh my God, this is fantastic. Oh my God, it's like a movie playing in my head. Oh, you've got to write more. You've got to do another one. And she's done nothing but read since. Now she's found her genre. She is off.
She's hooked. Doesn't that feel great though? Doesn't that make you feel great that your story started somebody reading? I mean, that is fantastic, because reading is great. Reading is important. Reading is learning, and reading is an escape, especially now with everything that we have going on. And, you know, some people aren't, you know, they can't go out, but, you know, or lockdown, or you just choose not to go out. This is an excellent time to read and escape in a story. And I think your books are the perfect escape. So I highly recommend them. So let me ask you this, with the dream that you had that inspired the story to begin with, since it was a dream and it was visual, did you transfer those visuals, you know, the same faces, or were the dreams clear? They were clear. Okay.
They were. In my dream, I was laying on a bed, and it was like a hospital kind of bed, but I was in this white room, which was all like shimmery, almost like it was snowy. It was like snow. You know how that you get that shimmer.
Yeah.
And I'm laying there, and I've got no memory of who I am, what I'm doing here, you know, what the noises are. And I quickly realized that I'm, you know, attached to, you know, some sort of monitor. And then I hear communication, but it wasn't human. And then when these angels, or ancient aliens as they are, came into the room, they were just beautiful.
Wow.
And they weren't, I just felt so safe and unthreatened. Like my instincts were telling me that they were here to help, you know, and I felt
right.
awe of these aliens. I just felt completely in awe of them. So when I started writing Earth's Angels, that's how I started the book, was, you know, waking up in this room, no memory, and these aliens coming in. And so that's how I started. But I very quickly realized that I had to give an explanation of how I got to that point. So I did, I sort of did a prologue, but I attached it, but it is actually part of chapter 1, because it's quite important. And I think that's with some people have a habit of skipping the prologue and missing really key important information that's essential to the story. And so the first part of my book is basically how Earth ends up dying, us tipping it over the edge to the point of no return.
That's like that's actually like a true story.
Do you know what's amazing, Stefanie, is I've had so many messages from people saying, oh my God, it's like you're predicting the future with all the superstorms and everything else. And I keep, every time I get a message like that, I keep thinking to myself, I really hope there's a really nice alien race out there that will come and rescue us, like they do in my books.
In the book, exactly. And you know, when you say your dream made you feel so warm and so safe, do you ever say to yourself, maybe this was more than just a dream? Because dreams usually don't stay with people. People are lucky if they even dream. They say we dream all night long, right? They say we have dreams. We hardly remember them. I'm sure a lot of people wake up and they never remember their dreams. I've even heard people say, I never remember not one dream I had. Then sometimes you do remember the dream and you try to retain it. But then as the day goes on, it fades. And then before you know it, you totally forgot you had a dream. So for this dream to stay with you for so long, it's like, maybe it was a little bit more than a dream, and this book was meant to be written. You know what I mean? I believe in stuff like that. The universe is a mysterious place.
The dream was almost like I was living the moment. It was that vivid. I literally was feeling everything. And a couple of my readers have said, you know, my character in the book, Mel, she seems to just be in awe of these angels. And I'm like, yeah, because that's how I felt in the dream. I just felt in complete awe of this ancient alien race that have come back to save us and heal our planet and you know, and help us move forward in a better way, in a more coherent way with nature and the world and the planet, instead of constantly abusing nature and our planet all the time. And it really did, I mean, it felt like I was living the moment. And I'm really glad that some people are like, oh, I'm not sure she should be that in awe. Well, if
Oh,
I'm
you're it all
in
up.
the presence of ancient aliens that literally have power and wings, and they were mistaken by angels, or mistaken as angels by our ancient civilizations, my mouth is going to be like, oh, I am going to be in awe.
That's right. You and me too, sister. Let me tell you. So, talking about ancient aliens, earlier today on Instagram, I see Ainsworth asked, what are ancient aliens?
Okay, so ancient aliens are basically life forms from other planets who it's generally believed that they have quite a long lifespan, or that their race has been around for, millennia. And they basically go to different planets visiting. And that's what my characters felt like they were. They felt like they were healers of planets, going around and saving other worlds.
Wow.
And there's a whole culture now, a whole community who are interested in ancient aliens, purely because they're finding so much evidence of visitation. Yep. When you go back
chills now. Oh my God.
Yeah, the ancient Mayans, the ancient Egyptians, the Drogu tribe. There are so many relics that depict what look like aliens in spacesuits, or gold aircraft trinkets.
Yes.
That they've actually made more life size and have actually flown, and that because the aerodynamic dimensions have been so spot on. There are ancient planetary charts that show planets that you couldn't even see with a naked eye, and they didn't have the technology of telescopes then. How did they know all this?
Yes.
And also obviously now with have you heard, I think it's called NADAR, not radar, it's called NADAR.
No, what is that?
Tell my gosh, it's a new technology that a lot of people who study ancient ruins are using now, archaeologists and everything. And basically what it does is you put it on a drone or an aircraft, and it goes over the top of land and sea, sends down signals, and then they read that information and then remove the vegetation. So they're now discovering all these new ruins that have been completely undiscovered, so they haven't been looted. They've got all this extra evidence. Wow. But they're now also finding underwater cities remain.
Yes, I saw
that are underwater now, and the timeline for the rise and lowering of the sea levels don't match the fact that these cities are there and that they're finding them. So they found one in just off of Cuba, an underwater city. Yeah. And I've actually incorporated that into my trilogy. And my Earth Angels bring it back to life, and it's all very mind-blowing, magical. Yeah,
I love that. Wow, that is so interesting. It's amazing how your story fits in with everything that people are talking about today. Yeah. And your book came first, and this just happens to be such a popular thing right now about aliens and visiting. And we also have to remember the ancient drawings, when they would draw things flying in the sky or people with wings, and how we cannot recreate a pyramid. Pyramids were created, right, in Egypt, and we cannot. So they say, where does this, construction come from? Like, how was it built? I mean, it's just so interesting. You're ahead of your time, Beth.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Maybe you're a time traveler and you don't even know it.
I mean, luckily, the ancient alien community has been there for a long time. There's a very popular program called Ancient Aliens, which sort of tries to connect the dots. And I've, since writing my books, I've been fascinated with watching that, because it sort of connects with what I've written about. And it's funny you say about, things like the ancient Egyptians, because, you know, there are so many ancient ruins that have been crafted to such a precise measurement that you can't even slide a piece of paper in between the joins, and yet modern day engineers can't do that even with machinery. Also with the ancient Chinese, dragons are a huge part of their culture, always have been from ancient times. So I actually introduced an alien race of dragons, and you know, and they literally spent time with the ancient Chinese, and that's why the ancient Chinese revere them, because they visited. So I sort of try and connect the dots between what we think might have happened and the legends and the myths, and, you know, the possibility of aliens visiting. You just never know. I think it's very naive, and I don't want to offend anybody at all, but I think it would be very naive for me to believe that out of the whole universe, and we're only now discovering, you know, universes in the far distance, we can't be the only inhabited planet in the whole universe. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, there's a lot going on out there. There's the black holes and the wormholes, and talking about how, you know, time travel. I mean, it's so interesting. It's just that there is more to it than we know. I mean, how can we possibly know? So many things that were created, even with different languages, like who created these languages, and who created the horoscope, and who created, I mean, in school, you can make a clock, right, with the potato and the sun. I mean, like how, the way things connect, and the way the moon controls the tide, and right, like how does it work? I mean, it's a fascinating universe, and there's so much going on and so much we don't know. But hopefully in our lifetime, because we are learning a lot of stuff. And I mean, who would have thought, like our parents would have never thought you can make a phone call without a wire, or right? Or you could heat up food in a micro, or look at what we're doing right now, how we're talking on a computer, and you're in California. And even if you were in England, I would still be able to have this communication with you and see you. Where does this come from? It's fascinating.
It's interesting because you pretty much hit the nail on the head, really. When you think about it, we were cavemen for a very, very, very long time. Then all of a sudden, something happens and we become highly intelligent.
Yeah, like overnight.
How does that happen?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It just does not make sense to me how a species all of a sudden can become so highly intelligent and functional, rather than being the same as the animals that were around them, hunter-gatherers. All of a sudden we become highly intelligent, and we start building communities, and our progression from that point, as you said, to now is absolutely unbelievable.
It's amazing.
And I think there are definitely key people within humanity who have some sort of connection with something else. I mean, you take Leonardo Da Vinci. I mean, oh my gosh, one minute he's literally doing paintings, and he's actually got like spaceships in the sky in the background of these paintings. Next thing you know, he's doing all these pencil drawings of helicopters and all this technology that he should not even be able to imagine. And he's drawing images of all this stuff and predicting our future of what we use now. Einstein, I mean, all of a sudden, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a highly intelligent man, but all of a sudden he starts doing all this strong meditation and everything, and now he's doing all these theories that are changing the world as we know it. It's it makes you wonder if there's something more out there.
Well, I think you agree, there definitely is, but it is fascinating, and your books do talk a lot about what's going on. So I do recommend readers, I recommend Beth's books. It is 3 books from one dream. Let's see the other 2.
Okay, so that's Earth Angels, that's book 1. And I don't know whether you can tell, but that's actually our planet Earth as the human eye.
Wow.
So that's the human side, and that's the Earth Angel side.
Gorgeous cover, gorgeous cover.
People keep buying my copies, so I'm like, I'm going to keep this one. This is my author copy. This is the Merillions. As you can see, I introduce the dragons, the longs.
I love the colors.
And then this one is Destination Unknown, which is the 3rd. This is the one where it's like epic finale, where, you know, the humans and the other alien races that they actually meet. I won't do spoilers, but they decide enough is enough, and they're going to take on this evil Merillion race who want to come and take Earth for its own. So the humans are united with the Earth's angels, other alien races. I introduce you and take you to different worlds and planets. It's quite an adventure. So it's a bit like Marvel Endgame, but badass.
Badass. I love it. I love it. I think that was such a great concept. I'm so glad you had that dream. And I just want to see, because before we didn't get to see if anybody had any comments. So I just wanted to try to check that. Were you able to share your page? To share the video on your page to make sure that everything...
I think I did share it on my page.
That's how we found out everything was not going smoothly. Which I really feel bad about. Well, let's see.
It's the joys of technology. It never works how you want it to. I've done so many shows now. I know from experience it never goes how you want it to.
Well, luckily we were able to see on my screen. I can't see the comments. So let me just see from my phone, because I just want to let everybody know that I can actually see the comments. So I just wanted to...
I'm sorry. I thought I
me. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we have Christine. Hi, Christine. Hello.
Hi, Christine.
We have Melvin. Hi, Melvin. Melvin, you joined us last time. Welcome back. Christine, you joined us too last time. Welcome back. Suzanne, she's like, yay, I found you. Suzanne was like, where's the interview? I can't find it. Sorry about that. And Josephine, hi, Josephine. Lisa says hello. Let me see. Lauren says hello, newbie here. Hi, Lauren, welcome. Melvin said, great discussion. I'm so glad you guys are loving it. And Denise said, love the first. I am trying to catch up on others before I start the second. So she loved your first book, Denise. Denise Burdett, if I pronounced that correctly. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Keep the comments coming.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. And a big thank you to Denise, because her review was absolutely wonderful. I was going like that. I was acting the same way when I got your review, actually, Stefanie, because you've read Earth's Angels. I do the happy dance around the kitchen. I'm like, yeah.
I loved it. I really loved the book. I love the story. And readers, you know, they have to let the writer know what they liked, what they enjoy, because it makes us feel good writing a story that we know people are enjoying, because really that's the whole point of writing, to get the story out and to get the story told, and then for somebody to say, wow, I really love that. So it's important. So every review counts. Sometimes I know people say, I don't know what to write, or, you know, I thought the book was so great, but I just didn't know how to put that into words, because they feel they're not writers. But you don't have to be a writer to write a review. Right? Something as simple as, I love the book, or great read, or, you know, anything to let the writer know that you read the book and you enjoyed it. Or even if you didn't enjoy it, I think all reviews are great reviews and we can learn from them. Just someone reading the book, right?
Absolutely. Right there. Absolutely. You're spot on. I mean, just the star review rating and great read is fantastic. And it's not just the fact that it's nice to get that feedback, and it does encourage you to keep going and keep promoting and keep working it, because it's super important. But also it's nice to for other readers to see that feedback, because it's your reviews that sell your books to other readers. And that's so important, because most of us, you know, are earning minimal amount with our book sales. You know, a lot of authors are holding down full-time jobs and trying to sell their books. I'm not able, I can't physically work because I had a car accident. So, you know, that is my only income, as small as it is at the moment. I mean, it's building, but it's still not a livable amount. But those reviews count, because people will decide to buy your book depending on those reviews. So it's super important to have as many reviews as possible. You know, from 4, 5 stars and the occasional 3 stars or whatever. All of that helps. But also, as authors, it's the best promotional tools we have, because people tend to try things that other people recommend. And as authors, if we can show one of our reviews and go, most recent review, 4 stars, fantastic read by blah, 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 left on Amazon, that's the best advertisement we can have, because somebody else, a complete stranger, has recommended your work. You can't get a better sales opportunity than that, because it encourages other people to try it.
It does, yep. I'm sure many readers have found many wonderful books off of a review from another reader.
Yeah.
Because even if they mention something, oh, this spoke about, you know, horses or aliens, and then somebody might say, hey, I'm looking for a book involving aliens and the planet Earth and angels such as yours. And, you know, they might say, hey, you know what, I'm going to give that author a shot. I'm going to read that book. And then that book turns into a review, and then turns into your second book and your third book. They start reading the whole series, the trilogy, and also turn other readers onto it. So it really is important. So guys, if you read a book, review it. Just a couple of words helps. The stars help. It all helps. So never think that your review doesn't matter, because it definitely does.
Yeah.
And tell us about Kaleidoscope Hearts, because that was something new for you, right? That was fun.
I know. I've been super excited. I'm going to show you an image of my story. There's 13 stories actually that's part of this anthology. I will just mention quickly, for those who don't know me, my Earth Angels trilogy is available in adult editions and young adult editions. So you can either read it with naughty bits and language or without naughty bits and language. But I basically wanted adults to have the choice of a naughty or clean version, but I mainly wanted to enable parents to be able to read the same book or the same story as their teenagers in a safe way, so their teens could have the safe version, and they have something to communicate and talk about afterwards.
Yeah, have a discussion about it and what they liked and different parts of the book. I think that was a great idea. Very smart.
My husband thought I was mad for doing it.
Oh, really? Oh,
he's like, I've never heard of an author doing that before. And I'm like, I'll be the first.
Yeah, you were the first, right, to do that we know of. I think that was fantastic. Very smart. That was very smart, because you had a story to tell, and it interests both adults and young readers alike. And then they could talk about it, and there could be a book club, especially now since we can't really leave the house and stuff like that. And Zoom is so great, and people are book clubbing on Zoom, and their daughters and their sons, you know what I mean? Like, they can actually do this with their children. So you really created something fantastic with that. That was a great idea.
The nice thing was, I did it because I wanted to encourage parents to read with their teens, but there are so many adults out there who don't appreciate adult scenes and language. They don't always want it, and they miss out on a lot of really good books because they don't want to read that. And I've had so many messages saying, I love the fact that I had a choice and I could go for the clean version, but it is an adult and young adult story, and they get to enjoy it. So, but this is
of both worlds.
This is I don't know if you can see, there you go. This is the Cinderella Soldier.
That's a beautiful cover.
It's, do you know what? My friend Raven, who's part of the anthology, she actually created that cover for me. And I was so thrilled because she's such a talented lady. She really, really is. But yeah, it's 13 love stories by 13 different authors, all put in one fantastic book. The ebook is available for free on most platforms now. We're still trying to get it. We're still trying to get Amazon to do it for free or list it for free in the UK, but we're getting there. And the paperback's available now as well. So that's exciting. I should get my copy soon.
That's very exciting. And I also want to add, I don't know if you guys can see these lovely heart earrings, but Valentine's Day did just pass. And in honor of Beth's story in Kaleidoscope Hearts, so the book is free. So what I need you guys to do, if you like these earrings, what I need you guys to do is shoot a picture. You have until Friday. We'll announce the winner on Friday. Shoot a picture of you with Beth's chapter, Beth's story. Shoot a picture to Beth and I. Follow us, and we'll do a live giveaway for the earrings. Right? That's fun. Right? Love it. I love it.
Absolutely.
Fun. I really enjoy giving stuff away. And I mean, Kaleidoscope Hearts, I'm sure it's a wonderful read. There's 13 stories, and I'm sure your story is amazing. So why not, guys? Pick it up. I know I have mine. I have mine already.
I was so super excited but nervous writing this story, I've got to tell you, Stefanie, because with Earth Angels, I mean, that's a roller coaster. I mean, you know, it's up and down with the excitement and the drama, and
yeah.
It's a real emotional roller coaster. But this was a short love story, and I'd never written a love story before. Don't get me wrong, there are, you know, romantic elements in Earth Angels, because, you know, there are characters who connect and get romantic and scenes. So I'd done that, but trying to condense a story into a short love story, I was terrified.
Oh, so what was the process for that? Like, how did you do that?
Well, for the longest time, I had a complete brain block as to what I was going to write. I was invited to participate, and my mind was just blank. What am I going to write about? What am I going to do? And then one day I'm in the shower, washing my hair, and then it's like, ding, inspiration struck. Wow. And I thought, that's it. Now my character in the Cinderella Soldier, she is a bisexual army lady who gets medically discharged from the army for a knee injury, and unfortunately, pretty much the moment she comes out and has to go back home, her girlfriend drops her like a dirty book. So she's now got no job, no career, a knee that's still not right, and no girlfriend. And she happens to think, okay, I want to get myself some new clothes. I'm going to give myself a new look. I'm going to find a new job. And it's all set in Harrogate in England, where my best friends live. So I'm a bit familiar with the place. It's very snowy, it's winter, and she happens to meet an extremely hunky shoe shop owner.
And
there's an instant attraction. So I won't tell you, I won't spoil it for everybody, but hence why it's called the Cinderella Soldier, because she connects with this guy in a shoe shop, and it's all sparks from there.
And there's a shoe on the cover, right? There's a boot.
Yeah.
Right. So which kind of represents, I guess, military and the fact that he's the shoe shop.
Exactly. It says, forget the glass slipper. This Cinderella wears combat boots.
I love it. Guys, grab it, and don't forget to send those pictures, and it's free. You can't go wrong with that.
It is free. And I'm going to quickly read you the blurb on the back. So
yeah, that would be great.
So you get a bit of a description when I can find it. I've got so many things saved up because I do so many author interviews myself. I've got so much stuff on here, you wouldn't believe. There we go. Oh my gosh, where on earth did I put it? Isn't that always the way, Stephanie? The moment you try and find something, it's gone.
Well, while you do that, I'll read the comments. Suzanne said, I bought it, reading it soon. Need to get my book to the editor first. Okay, that's great news, Suzanne. I'm sure you're going to love it.
Oh,
Good luck with the editor. Melvin said, yes. Gerard, hi Gerard, he's watching with us. David is watching. Lisa said, great cover. And Lindsay said, picked mine up. Oh, and she's 2 stories in. Lindsay's 2 stories in, nice. And Joanne is also watching. That is wonderful. She's already 2 stories in. That's great. So she's only got 11 more to go. I'm sure that's going to be a fantastic, enjoyable read.
Oh, I hope so, because honestly, the authors that I've done it with are so talented. They're absolutely wonderful, and they're such good fun. There is a group which is called WOW, WOW, Kaleidoscope Hearts, which is a public group. So we're doing a whole week of celebrations. So do go on there. That all the authors are doing giveaways and quizzes and games and live events. So it's fantastic.
I'm on there.
Fun.
Wow. Yeah, I got to check that out. I love giveaways. I love doing giveaways, and I love being the recipient also. I love the worlds. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And now I learned something about you that I had never known before. And I learned this while you were hosting an interview. You sing. And I was totally blown away. I had no idea. You know, so you're friends with someone on social media and you see their work and their books and their posts, but you think that that's it. Like you never say to yourself, wow, I wonder what else they do. And when I found out you sang, I was amazed. And I said, I have to listen. So that's exactly what I did. And I have to tell you, you have the voice of an angel, Beth. Your voice is so nice. And there's a video of you, and you're playing the guitar, and you're saying how you haven't really mastered the guitar, but you were going to sing and play the guitar, and even the guitar playing was fantastic. I mean, you really knocked it out of the park. It was really something. And where can everybody hear your music? Because those are beautiful.
I can feel my cheeks blushing right now.
Yeah, and you know why that's so weird that you're blushing? Because actually you did that before writing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You sang before you wrote lyrics, though. You're a lyricist, right? Because you have written your own songs, which that's amazing too. And I know I did read a comment where you said one of the songs were funny. I don't remember the name of it, but you share the title of that one.
I think that's What Do I Have to Do?
Okay, that makes sense because of the funny part about watching the game and right.
Yeah, it's dedicated to. It's basically dedicated to football widows. That's what we call them in the UK. And football widows can be male or female, but it's basically partners who are basically ignored as soon as the soccer or the football come on. Because, you know, my husband and I, we've got friends, and the moment soccer season starts or football season starts, they're zoned in. Nothing else matters.
Right.
You know, nothing else can get involved with them watching the game. And my husband and I used to host, you know, like game days and stuff like that back in England. And this is when I wrote the original song. And I won't embarrass anybody, but one of our friends was like, you know, his wife would try and talk to him, and he's like, no. And I thought to myself, this is how it started. I thought to myself, do you know what? He wouldn't even notice her if she literally stripped off and walks in front of him, in front of the TV naked. And then it was like, ding, 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 ding. That's what the song's about. So would you notice it if I walk through naked while the football's on? That's the main lyric in the song.
And that's pretty funny. So guys, you have to listen to Beth sing, because really, what a wonderful voice. That is fantastic. And let me
my daughter's a singer.
How did the singing start? Like, how did that come about?
Well, I'd always written poetry from a very young age. So I was always very good with words. And if somebody said, I've got an anniversary coming up or whatever, can you do me a poem for it? And I'd say, yeah, okay, tell me a bit about who it is and what they do together and blah, blah. And I would be able to come up with the poem that was specifically for them. I had a car accident in 2007, which left me in a lot of pain, a lot of nerve damage and physical damage. My right shoulder was kaput. And as a way to cope with the pain and the depression that I found myself in because of the pain, I went to writing poetry because I felt like I needed to get some emotion out and vent on paper, and it was very therapeutic. Well, around this time, and I don't want to make anyone feel sad, but around this time, there was a big thing within the news because 2 little girls had gone missing. Turned out they'd been abducted by their school caretaker, and they'd been found passed away. They died. And I was so upset by what had happened to these 2 little girls that were in school and should have been safe. I started writing a poem about it, about how innocence should be protected and nobody has a right to take that from our children. And as I'm writing this poem, this melody just started forming in my head. And I'm thinking, that's a bit weird. Okay, let's go with that. Well, within an hour, I'd not only written a full song, but the music was in my head for the song. And at that point, I couldn't play anything. I couldn't play any instruments. I still can't read music. I do everything by ear.
Wow.
I'm a bit like Michael Jackson in that way. I just do it all by ear. So I said to my husband, I think I've written a song. Can you listen? And he went, yeah. So I sung it for him and he's like, wow, did you just do that? I'm like, yeah. It was like the floodgates opened, Stefanie. All of a sudden, every time I started writing something down poetic, it turned into another song. And as you've seen, all my songs have a story.
Yes.
You know, they're not just rambling lyrics. Each one talks about either love, life, and all the stuff in between. One of my favorites is One Too Many.
That's the one that I like, with the wine goggles it mentioned.
With the wine goggles on, yes.
I see that. To me, I thought was, when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, that is hilarious. That really made me laugh.
Well, most people are familiar with, you know, guys joking to each other. Oh, you know, she'll look attractive later on when you got your beer goggles on.
That's exactly what I thought about, beer goggles, and you did wine. But I'm sorry, go ahead. I was blown away by that. Go ahead.
So I thought I'd do a little bit of a twist on it, and, you know, about, you know, girls having their wine goggles on and all of a sudden this guy's attractive, and then waking up in the morning thinking, oh my God, I did not.
And she doesn't, in the song, she doesn't want to tell her friends, right? She doesn't want anybody to know about it. I don't want to give too much away, but they're fantastic songs. So please give Beth a listen, check it out. And did we say where people could listen to your music, or no? Did you happen to?
My song samples are all on Reverb Nation. So if you do reverbnation.com/Beth Worsdell, you will find me. For a while, I was using like a AKA, like a bit of a stage name, because I had a couple of weirdos trying to stalk me. So I had to sort of, you know, take the attention away from myself personally.
Right.
But obviously all that stopped now, thank goodness. But yeah, so it's on Reverb Nation. And as you said, I do have, I think, one on YouTube as well of me trying to play live. I was still learning back then, and I haven't improved much because I just haven't had time to practice. I'm always writing now or reading.
It sounded really good to me. I mean, I thought it was fantastic. I thought you were going to like miss a couple of, because the way you said, oh, I'm just learning the guitar, but you did a great job. So you self-taught. So what did you do? Just like sit and strum because you can't read music. So like, how does that work?
I was learning, or should I say I was trying to learn. There's a fantastic, for anybody who wants to learn the guitar, there is a fantastic website and app called guitartricks.com. It is brilliant. And I haven't been on for quite a while because, as I said, I've been so busy with, you know, the books and the Witty Writers Show and everything else. But they show you in a video how to do it, how to hold your fingers. There's images that you copy, and then you practice, you learn. It takes you really slow. And then once you've got the hang of that section and you think, okay, I've learned that lesson, I'll move on to the next, it will take you on to the next lesson. But it keeps track of all the lessons that you've done, so you can go back and repeat any that you want to do. I think at the time, it might have changed, but at the time it was something like $15 a month. And you can literally do as many lessons as you want, anytime, go back, repeat. Everything was tracked. Brilliant.
Well, that's a really good deal because you don't even have to leave your house. And now it's probably difficult to take music lessons because of everything that's going on, and you're with the instructor in the room and you have to social distance. So it's kind of hard. And like I said, it's even more expensive if you do, you know, show up face to face. This you could do in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
Just
and
like reading a book, you could do in the comfort of your own home too. So read, people, read. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. And the nice thing is that their catalogue of songs that you learn are so vast. And I think you can actually select what type of songs you want to learn. And I think that's the best way of learning an instrument is by playing music that you actually like. And all the instructors that do guitar tricks are very highly qualified, and it's just brilliant. So yeah, you're right. Absolutely. It's fantastic service.
You are one talented lady. I got to tell you, J-Lo better watch out.
I like her butt.
You really got a lot going on, Beth. I see Kevin joined us, so I just want to say hi to Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Tirza said, hey, beautiful girls. Oh, there's my husband. Anthony is watching. Hi, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
He's really getting into the interviews. He was listening to the interview yesterday. He found you guys hilarious. It was such a fun, entertaining hour you guys did. Tirza said, that's amazing. Oh, and Suzanne said, oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. I need to hear you sing now. Suzanne, you do. And you know what? I mean, to you, of course, you don't have an accent because you're, you know, from England. But, you know, to our ear, you do. So when you sing, the English accent isn't detected. Do you realize that too? Like, accents don't come through in the singing. I mean, think very rare, maybe like Julio Iglesias, maybe his accent, you know, came through, but you notice that, right?
Yeah. And there's very few artists where you can actually hear their British accent, really. Ed Sheeran is one, because when he sings, he'll say water instead of water, you know, but most singers generally do American style singing.
Isn't that weird though? It comes out naturally.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I'll sing a bit more British than others. I think it depends on the song, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe the song, the words. Because how about the Bee Gees? They're from England, right? And they have a lot of songs, and I think in some of them, maybe in their ballads, maybe you could pick up more, right? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I'm actually distantly related.
Well, now you see you have an advantage. Now we know why you're such a great singer. Oh my God.
No.
This is why I love doing interviews. Tell us about that.
It's not blood related, but interestingly enough, my stepdad remarried into the Bee Gees family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's
good family.
Super interesting. I'm learning so many interesting things about you. Wow.
I haven't got to meet any of them though. It's not done me any favors.
Maybe you guys can do like a duet, right? You and Barry could do a
Wouldn't that be
duet
cool?
or
Wouldn't
something.
that be
Yeah,
amazing?
that would be. You could have like a family reunion or something like that. And then, or there's a party and you, like in a movie or in a book, and you two meet and then you're related and then you go on stage and you just, guys just belt out a tune and everybody loves it. And then, oh my God, then you have a whole new career, a whole singing career.
I can only dream. To be honest with you, it's the songwriting that I love the most. I don't think I can sing really at all. My daughter, Abby, has got the most amazing voice. I swear to you, she's got the voice of an angel. She makes the hairs go up. You know, when you go, oh, and you get that feeling. That's what her voice does. And unfortunately, she's going through those teenage years where she's quite self-conscious now. But my daughter actually won a national competition. It was to do with, and her song, you can actually Google and find it, I think, as well.
Oh, let's do that. What's the name? I'm going to write it down.
Her song is called Within Reach. She'd never written a song before. And this opportunity came up, as I said, it's a national competition, and they do a subject matter. And this time the subject matter was within reach. So they could do a piece of art titled Within Reach. They could do a cinematic entry. They could write a song. They could just do a music composition. Any of the arts they could submit. So because obviously she's seen me singing and songwriting for so many years, she said, I'm thinking of writing a song. And I said, well, do it, go for it. Well, you know, you've got nothing to lose, just do it. So anyway, so she did it, and I sort of showed her how to find the tune or find the note that she wanted to sing and find it, because we use GarageBand. That's what I've done all my samples on. So I showed her how to find the notes that she wanted to play and blah, blah. She did it all herself. I mean, she blew me away. And when she sung this song to me, and she taught herself how to play it on her keyboard, she just blew me away. And I said, Abby, you've got to put this forward. You've got to submit it. You know, really just impressive. Put it out there. You've got nothing to lose. Well, first of all, she won the district. Then she won the states. Then, and she literally kept going and kept going. And then she literally won nationally for music composition.
Wow.
For her song. She just blows my mind. She's so talented, my daughter.
That is amazing. So now, is this something she's going to pursue? Is she going to, or she's not really interested in that, or?
Oh, she's always singing. Always singing. She non-stop. And the amount of songs that girl knows. We'll be sat in the car and a song will come on and she'll know the lyrics. Another song will come on, she know the lyrics.
Wow.
She's just a sponge. However, I think career-wise, I think she's more into like crime scene investigation.
Oh, like forensics, right? That's very interesting too. She could be the singing forensics pathologist. Right? It could be a new thing. Why not? I mean, you're multi-talented. She could do the same thing. So yeah, I'm gonna, Within Reach, I am definitely gonna listen to that. And you know what I realized today? I was looking at your name, your last name, and it's, if I pronounce it correctly, Worsdell?
Yes.
Worsdell. So if you actually move the word is in your name. I mean, I guess you realize that already, right? Because you're not.
That ironic?
Yeah, I really think it is. And if you just move the S, you have word, or you have words, or you have words sell, which words do sell. Books.
They do for me.
Right? Like, huh?
They do for me.
They do for you. Yeah, they do for you. So I never realized that before, but I was like, wow, the word is in, and Beth's a writer, and you write songs, you write books. I just found that to be really, really interesting. You know how names from, I don't know, back in the old days, if you were a blacksmith, right, your name it had to do with your profession.
Yes.
Right? So when I saw that, I was I made a connection, and I was like, wow, that is really, really interesting. But I guess we should, I think it's been an hour. It's probably been a little over an hour because unfortunately I started late. We had a little bit of a glitch, but it all worked out. And I think we've covered all the pertinent information. Is there anything that you want to add about your ebooks or anything, or your paperbacks, or?
Not really at the moment. I think there's going to be more stories to come with regards to the characters from the Earth Angels trilogy.
I think that would be great. I think that's a wonderful, I mean, there's a whole, I mean, this could go on forever. This could really go on forever.
Yeah, I get quite a lot of comments from people saying it's like Star Wars and Star Trek, and that there's going to be so many other adventures that can happen, especially now, you know, with the different alien species, and I won't do spoilers, but at the end, it leaves the door wide open for other possibilities and other things to happen on other worlds. So there might be some more to come. I'm currently writing a fantasy series for children at the moment. I'm on book 4. I haven't released any yet because I want to try and publish at least 4 in time for next Christmas. But I've come up with a new character. She's called Jinx.
Oh, that's so cute.
If you think of an edgier version of Tinkerbell, you might be on the right path. But she's a Christmas spirit, and her clans work for Santa Claus, and they go around dusting humans with Christmas spirit dust.
Oh, that's so nice.
But she has to learn how to do the job, and she, you know, does all these different adventures.
So she'll make mistakes and she'll get in trouble, and oh my God.
I'm super excited. I
don't blame you.
A few of my close friends and my sisters and my mum have all read the first couple, and they're just obsessed. They're like, we want more. So if the adults love them that much, then the kids are definitely going to love them that much.
Oh my gosh, definitely.
Hopefully it's going to be for the age group around about sort of 7 to 10. But they're going to be really nice books for adults to be able to read to little ones as well. So I'm hoping that, you know, it's going to cover quite a big age group within the children. And I'm super excited because I'm hoping to do all my own illustration, because then I don't have to pay an artist royalties if I try and do everything myself.
Oh, wow. Look at you go.
Well, the thing is, I'm really hoping that Jinx will be loved by kids like Tinkerbell and other children characters. And if that's the case, children love to have something on of their favorite character. And I want to be able to offer, you know, a special little t-shirt and stuff like that for kids, so they can have that connection with Jinx. One, without paying a fortune, and 2, for me to be able to do all that for the kids affordably without being, you know,
spending the bank.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm excited. And the funny thing is, it's either going to be me or my daughter that's going to be dressing up as Jinx to do the illustration. And I'm so excited, but in a really funny way. I feel like a right geek. I have literally got the green wig for her, a little star necklace. I've bought a beautiful little gold shimmery dress that she wears, little gold slippers, a little satchel that she keeps her spirit dust in.
Oh my God, that sounds fantastic, Beth. I'm excited.
Well, that's the other reason I decided to get all the outfit to be able to do Jinx, is because kids love interacting with characters. And I thought, when this pandemic's over, wouldn't it be cool if I go and do like a signing at Barnes and Noble or wherever, and I'm actually dressed as Jinx, or actually hire somebody to dress up as Jinx so they can actually meet and greet her?
Yes. And I mean, I don't know if you would want to do this, but you can even read from your book dressed, right? Because children are on their iPads and their laptops, and that's where they're getting their stories from. I'm hearing, right? Authors, writers, or maybe they hire somebody to storytell to the children, so that it could be an interactive book. Oh God, You're too much. You're amazing.
I'm
So
so
will that,
excited.
that'll be this year, right? This Christmas?
Yeah, I want to try and get them out. I'm hoping for October, because if I do it for October, that's plenty of time for people to buy for Christmas for their kids and
Yes.
grandkids and nieces and nephews. And I'm hoping that if I release at the beginning of October, word hopefully will spread. And then by November, it will be catching on and people will be connecting with Jinx and her character. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm super
Well,
excited.
I'd love to have you back for another interview after that is complete. And that way,
Yes.
you know, we can help get that out, because that book sounds amazing. You really put your heart and your soul into everything. And these children's books now, I mean, you could feel, you know what I mean? I could see it. It's all over your face. You're very excited and it comes from the heart. And you're so talented and you're full of wonderful ideas. And those wonderful ideas need to be shared. So I really want to have you back. So slate some time. I know you're a busy lady, but slate some time, pencil me in somewhere and let me know what's going on. And we'll definitely do this again. Sound good?
That would be lovely. I would love to, Stefanie, because
Right.
you're absolutely wonderful.
Oh my God, so are you. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on. Guys, don't forget, grab Kaleidoscope Hearts, right? It's free right now.
Yes.
And
the
don't
paper,
forget, you listen to the interview, learn how you can obtain the earrings, Beth's trilogy. And also her trilogy has to do with what we hear about on the news, and, you know, kind of like what a lot of people think. So I really think you should read them. And most importantly, review. It's very important. Beth wants to hear, you know, how you feel about her stories. And I mean, it's from the heart, and it's good to know and it's good to hear. And thank you again, Beth, for joining me. It really was a pleasure. I learned so much about you. I mean, there's so many layers to you. I can't, and I know there's more, but I think we're
like an onion.
But yeah, you're like an onion. And crying though, but in a good way. Happy tears, right? Happy tears. Because onions make people cry, but happy tears. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. And I'm definitely going to talk to you soon. So don't forget about me come October or November, whatever works for you. So we could talk more about Jinx. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I would absolutely love to. Thank you so much for inviting me today. And thank you everyone for joining in and asking questions. And you've all been fantastic. And I will keep up with the comments in case anybody pops up with another question. I'll keep tabs.
Thank you, because I know I did miss some. I'm sorry, guys, but I want to also say thank you so much for joining us. It was really interesting and a fun, entertaining interview. It was great. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the sun that you have. Okay.
I will before it goes again.
Enjoy it while you can. All right. I'll see you later. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.